see a railing which would go to stairs, and I see what looks like a short fence that goes around the house. So,
And it's the short fence.
and that's why I need to see what it is that we're talking about, because we're mixing railings and fences.
I was standing by the short fence. Yes.
All right. You were standing by the short fence.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Smith is on the porch.
Yes.
Mr. Smith has a gun.
Counsel, so we're clear. Mr. Smith is on which porch?
The side porch.
And the fence that we're looking at is at the front of the house. Is that correct?
It's at the corner of the front and the side of the house. It abuts the front of the house as well as the side of the house. The court looks closely. It's
No, it's a railing that goes along the front of the house. That's what I see.
and it also, if you look closely, it comes up the sidewalk
Yeah,
a little.
okay. Well, she's indicated that she was at the front of the house. She's indicated that.
Okay. Mr. Smith is on the porch as set forth in Exhibit C, right?
Yes.
On the side of the house as set forth in Exhibit C.
He is on that porch. Yes.
Okay. With the gun.
Yes.
And he shoots the gun from that porch.
Yes.
You are not hit, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Did Mr. Smith have his clothes on?
Yes, he did.
Now, when you went, let's go to the subsequent events. When you went to Carlos Cade's house,
Witness who indicated it was her posting. I don't find it to be relevant to the evidence or to what has occurred. So it will not be admitted. We'll make a complete record of that. For the record.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing further this witness, Your Honor.
May this witness be excused?
Yes.
Thank
Ma'am,
you.
you can step down, you're excused.
Thank you.
And you can-
Before we, can I have a few minutes just to reorganize the photos?
Very well.
Just a second. before we
Oh,
close?
I do have one additional question. Can I see your photograph, the
Which
one
one?
you had the
Let's see,
railing?
let's see.
No, the
She might have it over there.
What photo?
the photograph that showed the railing in the front. which
Yeah,
you gave
that's,
us.
she has that.
Okay. I do have an additional question. In terms of where your car, your Mercedes-Benz was parked, was it parked on the front, at the front of the house or the side of the house?
On the side of the house.
Okay. I'm using a defense exhibit D. There are two vehicles in that photograph. Could you approximate where your car was parked?
It was further back beyond that because it was closer to the bedroom.
Okay, so it's further back. So where your car was parked on the side will not even be shown on this photo?
Correct.
Okay.
It would be, ma'am, would it be behind the, there is a black vehicle shown in the photograph. It looks like it might be a older Mercedes or something, I'm not sure. But it's a black vehicle, would it be behind
I
where
have
the
a
car was
better
parked?
photo of that.
Yes, it would be behind where that car was parked.
That clears the record up as to where the car was.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing further.
Ma'am, you may step down.
I have one additional witness, Your Honor.
Just let me just follow up that, Judge. I want to make sure
You
we're
can't
clear
step down yet.
with the location of the car. I'd like to show you this photo. Does that, looking at that photo, does any car in that photo more accurately reflect where you're?
Mr. Dillon, again, you're gonna have to mark the photograph and so we can, so the record can reflect. And if anybody look at this transcript later, they'll know what we were looking at. Because right now, you say, I'm showing you a photograph. Later on, at some other hearing or review or trial or anything, I don't know what may come, but certainly no one will know what we're talking about. So we have to have the photograph marked as an exhibit, have the witness give some explanation as to what is in the photograph, and then you can go from there.
Judge, normally what I was attempting to do is first identify the photograph and then I would move.
Yeah, but she's gotta be talking about something, sir, so it's gotta be marked. So you can say, I'm showing you exhibit whatever. Could you tell us what's in the photograph? Is that a clear and accurate reflection of what it purports to depict? And then whatever questions you need to go into.
Could you mark that, please? E. Ma'am, I'd like to look at what has been marked as exhibit E.
Thank you.
All right, now,
Looking at that photo.
okay, you have to speak up, counsel. because we
Looking
all
at
hear
that
you.
photo, does that photo reflect more accurately the location of your car on that evening?
I would have to mark it as to where my car was
Okay.
parked.
Well, does it reflect it or does it not? You said, I think previously, that your car was closer to the bedroom.
It was.
Does that photo
Does the
reflect where your
photograph
car?
show the bedroom, or does it just?
Yeah.
show
Yes,
the
it
street?
does.
Shows it?
Yes, it does show the bedroom.
And it shows the car in front of the bedroom window, right?
Yes, it shows a car.
Yeah, and is that car reasonably located where your car was located?
My car was further a little more behind that. So it wasn't exactly where this car is parked.
Okay.
Because Virgil's car was much closer to where this porch is.
Okay.
So I was behind that.
Okay. So in other words, that picture does not reflect the location of your car or Mr. Smith's car on the evening in question, right?
Counsel, that's, she's not saying, her car is not in that photograph, right, correct?
Correct.
So she's showing, she said, I can mark the photograph to show you where my car was located, to say, because, does it show the area that your car was parked?
No, this is inaccurate. If he's saying it's in place of where this car is.
No, I'm not asking you about the cars that are now depicted in the photograph. Does that photograph show the general area that your car was being parked?
Yes, it
Okay.
does.
That's what she's saying, Counsel. You're asking about the photographs, the cars that's in the photo. She says it's not where these cars were, it was behind it. And she indicated, I can mark the photograph to show you where where my car was located. Or her car.
Mark where your car is.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are we
approach
Are we
it.
asking to admit this photograph? Is there any
Yes,
objection
Your
from the people?
No objection, Your Honor.
So admitted. In fact, all of the photographs and the evidence that has been marked by the defense is admitted.
Do you have all four pictures of this?
I have 3 pictures up here. I have no originals, but that's fine. I've got those. All right. All right. No, that's fine. That's fine. I don't need to copy. I mean, I got it. Sorry.
Okay, I have nothing further to witness, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Third time the charm? You
Yes,
can
Your
step
Honor.
down there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And again, you're excused. You can leave if you choose to. You indicate you have another witness?
Yes. One last witness, yes.
Wait, turn around. Yeah, you don't have to come. Just raise your right hand. State your full name.
Tatiana Grant.
Swear or affirm you tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Please have a seat in the witness chair. Bring that microphone directly in front of you. Keep your voice strong so we can hear you.
Okay.
Your witness, then.
Good morning, Ms. Grant.
Good morning.
I'm going to direct your attention back to the early morning hours of May 10th, year 2015, at approximately 1 in the a.m. hours. Were you on Wexford Street?
Yes.
And were you with someone in this courtroom?
Yes.
Ma'am, you can't stand, neither of you can stand in the courtroom. You're in the back trying to stand up, so you can't do it. You have to keep your seats.
Were you with someone who's in this courtroom?
Yes.
And would that be Mr. Virgil Smith Jr.?
Yes.
Do you see him seated anywhere?
Yes.
Could you point him out and tell me what he's wearing?
Right there, and he has on, it looks like a brown suit with a blue button up.
Indicating for the record, the witnesses identified the person of the defendant, Mr. Virgil Smith Jr.
Record so reflect.
Now, ma'am, could you tell me about something occurring in the 1 a.m. morning, around 1 a.m.? Do you recall what happens?
Yes.
Okay, you were asleep,
I was asleep.
okay, and are you awakened?
I was, yes.
Okay, and were you awakened by something?
Yes.
And what were you awakened by?
I was awakened by hearing Virgil speaking to someone through the window.
Okay, so you were awakened by Mr. Smith's voice, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and could you hear the person outside?
No, not initially.
Okay, so you first hear Mr. Virgil Smith's voice speaking to someone outside, correct?
Correct.
And you did not hear, or you could not hear what was being said by the person outside, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, what do you see Mr. Smith do next?
After I heard him wake up, or after I woke up and heard him speaking, I kind of like looked over and saw him closing the window and going over to put on some pants.
Okay,
After I saw him
now let me stop,
Oh, okay.
stop you right there. Did you have a cell phone that was working at that point in time?
Yes.
Okay, and it's for best you know that Mr. Virgil Smith had a cell phone that was working at that time.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Smith, did he ask you to call the police?
No.
Did Mr. Smith himself call the police?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, so you see him putting on his clothing, is that correct?
Yes.
And what happens next?
As I see him bending over, putting on his pants, the window opened up from the outside and caused me to kind of jump up startled because I'm looking at him and the window opens.
Okay, and do you hear something?
Yes, I hear a woman's voice.
Okay, when you hear the woman's voice, could you make out what's being said?
I feel like she said something like, "Come on, Kai."
Come on, Kai.
Something like that.
Okay, and at that point in time, do you pick up your cell phone to call the police?
No.
Does Mr. Smith pick up his cell phone to call the police?
No. He went back to the window.
He went back to the window, and do you hear more conversation?
No.
Okay, so what happens next?
He closed the window and then went to the bedroom door and said, "Tati, don't come out this room," and closed the bedroom door.
He said, Tati, don't come out this room.
And
Correct?
closed the door and exited.
Okay. Up until this time, the person on the outside had never addressed you, is that correct?
That is correct.
You hadn't heard any threats towards you from the outside.
Correct.
Prior to you being woken up by Mr. Smith's voice, did you hear any loud banging or any screaming, any cursing?
I did not.
Okay. So the thing that woke you up was Mr. Smith's voice.
Yes.
Now, he tells you to stay in the bedroom, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
What happens next?
You have to say yes or no, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, because the court reporter can't take down,
Oh,
okay?
gotcha, yes.
Okay, so what do you hear happening next?
After that, I heard the door to the house close, and I just heard running through the hallway.
Okay, then what happens next?
Then the bedroom door burst open,
Okay,
and Anistia came in and jumped at the bed. At this point, I'm still sitting up from
okay,
when the window opened. I'm still sitting up like this with my feet straight up in the bed.
yes,
And the bedroom door burst open, and she jumped out the bed to where my feet were.
okay.
But instead of grabbing me, she grabbed the sheets.
She grabbed the sheets.
Yes.
And what did she do with the sheets?
She's holding them, and Virgil's behind her, kind of like pulling her back. I don't know if it was her arms or her waist.
Okay,
But she's also, as she's grabbing the sheets at me, she's also yelling at me.
okay. Did she pull the sheets off of you?
Not at this point.
Okay. At this point in time, does Virgil tell you to call the police?
No.
Okay. And at this point in time, do you make any attempt to call the police?
No.
Okay. Now, I'm going to back up a little bit. Were you aware of some type of firearm that Mr. Smith had?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
About a year ago, Virgil.
Objection, what's the relevancy of a gun of a year ago to this case?
I don't know if she's talking about when the weapon was purchased. Certainly, if she can talk about if he had a gun and it's something consistent with the charges today, that would be relevant that he possesses that type of weapon.
Thank you. What type of gun did he show you?
Honestly, I didn't see it because when he pulled it out to show me, I told him I didn't want to see it and didn't want to be around it.
Okay, was it a short gun or a long gun?
It was a long gun.
Okay, and did he tell you where he kept that long gun?
No, but I saw where he got it from
And where did he get it from?
under his bed.
Okay. Now, so she eventually she yanks the sheet off.
He pulled, in the attempt of him pulling her away from me, the two of them fell back, and she was still grabbing the sheets. She in the sheets, and him fell back.
Okay. And then do you see some tussling going on between them?
I don't see a ton of tussling. I can hear it.
Uh-huh.
And then I heard crashing of the television, which is the complete furthest corner of the bedroom.
The complete furthest corner of the bedroom. At
Yeah.
this point in time, did Kai yell out to you, call 911, call for the police?
No.
Okay. Did you, based on what was going on, reach for your cell phone and call the police?
You know,
No.
relevancy, what's the relevancy of calling 911?
The relevancy if there's some allegations that somebody was so threatened or so afraid, then the natural inclination you might think would be to call the police.
Correct.
But that's pure speculation.
No.
She can ask, did they call? You can ask. You ask about when phone calls, counsel.
Okay.
Because
So-
you go into a person's state of mind, so you can do that.
Now, at this point in time, can you hear anything being said?
Excuse me. Yes. She was yelling things like, he doesn't care about you, he doesn't love you. And I remember in my brain as I was processing it, that she was yelling and he was kind of calmly saying, I did not say that. I did not say that, in response to to what she was yelling out.
So when she was yelling, he doesn't care about you, he doesn't love you, that didn't cause you to pick up the phone and call the police, correct?
Correct.
And at that point in time when she was yelling out, he doesn't love you, he doesn't care for you, he did not say, call 911.
Correct. And I was honestly kind of in shock.
Okay.
It didn't even dawn on me to call anybody.
Okay. Now, does he eventually get her out of the bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. And after he gets her out of the bedroom, do you see him, so he leaves the bedroom, is that correct?
Both of them do. He kind of grabbed her up and took her out.
At some point in time, does he come back in the bedroom?
Yes.
Do you see him do something?
When he came back into the bedroom, he didn't do anything at first. I started yelling at him, where are my contacts? I can't see.
Okay, where are your contacts? You can't see. And at that time, when he came in the bedroom, do you know whether or not he attempted to call 911?
Not to my knowledge. As soon as he gave me the contacts, I put them in my eyes.
Okay, you put your contacts in. Did you see him do something?
Shortly after that, I didn't see him. I heard.
Okay, what did you hear?
I heard the gun hitting the bed frame.
You heard the gun hitting the bed frame. Where was Mr. Smith when you heard the gun hitting the bed frame?
Next to the bed.
Okay. Based on what you heard in his position, did you believe he was getting the gun out from up under the bed?
Yes.
Okay. At that point in time, based on what you know, did Mr. Smith have a working cell phone?
Yes.
Before he went and got the gun, did he pick up that working cell phone and call 911?
No, I did not see that.
When you saw him getting the gun, did you pick up a working cell phone and call 911?
No.
Did you say anything to him when you saw him do this?
No.
What's the next thing you see or hear?
After that, all I cared about was getting myself out of there.
Okay.
So as I heard that, I heard it, but that wasn't my focus. My focus was to get all of my stuff and to leave. So I heard it and started grabbing my things so that I could leave.
In terms of after that, when you were making an effort to leave, is after he got the gun. Is that correct?
They were simultaneous.
Okay. Simultaneously with him getting the gun, you were like, I got to get out of here.
Yes.
Okay. At the point in time when he is getting the gun, did you see Anistia?
No.
Could you even hear Anistia when he was getting the gun?
No.
Do you hear or do you hear shots or see muzzle flashes?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So I heard the bedroom door close. Not the bedroom door, the house door close.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I am in the process of gathering my things. And I hear 4 gunshots. And as I was hearing them, I kind of looked toward the window, and I could see, like, lightning through the blinds.
And based on what you heard and what you saw, did you believe that to be muzzle flashing?
I didn't know what it was at the time, but yeah.
Okay. At the point in time when right before you saw the muzzle lightning and you heard the gunshots, did you hear Anistia or did you see Anistia?
No.
What happens next?
So after that, it was oddly quiet to me. I didn't hear glass breaking, I didn't hear yelling, I didn't hear police cars, I didn't hear anything. So I knew not to go over to the window where I just saw that happening.
Okay, so based on everything you told me here, you did not see or hear Anistia?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, go on.
So then I knew not to go over to the window where I just saw the flickering through the window. So I looked out the back window to see if I could see or hear something.
Okay.
And I didn't. I don't see the dog. All I see is the backyard and the garage. And then it clicked in my head, my car is in the garage. Now that you have your stuff, how are you getting out of here?
Okay. What happens next?
Then
Now at this point in time, you still have your cell phone.
This entire time my phone was plugged in at next to and underneath the bed. It had fallen under the bed.
Okay. Now where is Virgil at the defendant at this point in time? Do you know?
I have no idea. He wasn't at least he wasn't in the bedroom with me.
Okay. Now how long were you in the bedroom by yourself before Mr. Smith, the defendant, reappears?
Reappeared when he gave my contacts or after that?
After the shooting.
Okay. After that, it was at least 3 to 5 minutes. It was a little while.
It was a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And when he comes back, does he come back with the gun?
No.
When he comes back without the gun?
Yes.
Did he say anything about where the gun was?
No.
Did he come back by himself?
No.
Who did he come back with?
Carlos.
He came back with Carlos.
Yes.
And what happens at this point in time?
The 2 of them come in. I can't remember which one of them it was.
Don't tell me what they said, but did you leave the house at that point in time?
Yes.
Okay. And you got into your car and left?
Yes.
During any of this time, did the defendant, Mr. Smith, call 911?
Not to my knowledge.
Did he ask you to call 911?
No.
Did he complain of any injuries?
No.
And you left, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you have contact with him later on that day?
Yes.
He called you?
He called me.
Okay. Did he ask you not to tell anybody about what happened?
No.
Did he tell you where the gun was?
No.
Did you see Anistia's car when you left?
Yes.
Okay. Could you tell whether or not there was any damage to it?
I didn't see any damage.
Were you looking?
No.
Okay. Nothing further this witness.
Good morning, Ms. Rand.
Good morning.
Okay. Now let me ask you, you had been with Mr. Smith that evening, had you not?
Yes.
Was Mr. Smith drunk at all that evening?
Not to my knowledge.
Now, when you awoke that evening, did you see Mr. Smith open the window?
I did not see him open the window, no. I heard him talking through it.
But subsequently to that, he closed the window, did he not?
Yes.
And the window after that opened up again.
Correct.
Was that window opened up again by Mr. Smith?
No.
Was it opened up by somebody outside?
Yes.
Did that cause you fear?
It caused me to be startled because I'm looking at him putting on his pants in some kind of a way. The window opened up from the outside.
While he's putting on his pants?
Yes.
Now, at that time, he did not have a gun, did he?
No.
Now, he then leaves the room, correct?
Yes.
And the next thing that you notice is you hear running.
Yes.
Did you hear any noise relative to the side door of the house
Closing?
or opening?
The door like kind of slams when it closes. So I heard that, and then I heard like
Okay.
running.
You heard that side door of his house slam.
Mm-hmm.
You then hear running.
Yes.
Now, when Mr. Smith left the bedroom prior to this incident, he closed the door
Yes.
and told you not to leave the room.
That's correct.
And then the bedroom door burst open.
Yes.
And is it Mr. Smith you first see, or is it Miss Grant that you first see?
It's Miss Thomas.
Excuse me, Miss Thomas. Excuse me, Miss Grant.
No, it's
Apologize.
okay.
Miss Thomas that you first see.
Yes.
And she's running toward you, isn't she?
Yes.
Were you concerned about her running toward you?
I don't know if it was concern or more so like what is going on.
Okay. What is going on? Now, was Mr. Smith behind her?
Yes.
Was he chasing after her?
He wasn't chasing her. He was trying to restrain her and keep her from me.
Okay. So from behind her, he's attempting to restrain her by pulling her back from going in your direction.
Correct.
But he wasn't successful.
Not at first.
Not at first. Because she actually attempted to grab your legs, didn't she?
Yes.
But instead she grabbed
The bed sheets.
the bed sheets. And she tried to pull you from the bed?
I don't know what she was trying to do.
Now, you said, I believe on testimony, that you saw Mr. Smith put his hands around her from the rear and crossing his arms across her chest or stomach area?
It was either her arms or her waist, but whatever it was, I could tell he was trying to pull her back and she was trying to get to me, and the two of them fell.
Okay. So in the process of pulling back, they then fall over the TV?
No.
No.
This was before they got to the TV.
Okay. So they fall back.
And the sheets still holding onto the sheets, and the sheets go flying back with them.
Now, did you see Mr. Smith punch Miss Thomas in the face?
No.
Did you see Mr. Smith slam Miss Thomas's face into the floor?
No.
Did you see Mr. Smith assault her in any manner whatsoever?
No.
What you saw was simply him restraining her.
Pulling her back and then carrying her like this from the back out of the room.
All right. And, okay, did they fall to the ground before the TV incident?
Yes, that was with the bed sheets.
That was with the bed sheet. Did they roll over?
I still don't know how they got over to where the TV was, but I feel like I could hear them kind of struggling, and then I just heard like a crash.
Okay. And then you saw them fall over the TV?
It was so dark, I honestly didn't see it.
Okay. But you
I just
heard
heard it
All right.
and knew what it was.
All right. There came a time later in the evening, that you did actually see the TV knocked over, though, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So after the TV encounter, is Mr. Smith still pulling her out from the bedroom?
Yes. And
As he's pulling her out, is he punching her in the face?
no.
Is he slamming her head into the wall?
No.
Does he back her out of the room?
He didn't back her out. The two of them wound up kind of by where the bedroom door is, where the blue chair is. And the two of them were over there, and I just recall seeing him kind of like get her from the back and then taking her out of the door.
So you saw him lift her up?
Because both of them were on the ground.
Okay. And so he stands up
Yeah.
and lifts her up?
I don't remember if he lifted her up or some kind of way they both got up, but I just remember seeing his back to me, and it was kind of like,
Yeah.
like seeing somebody getting somebody up. And
Hold
out.
it. Okay. And he carries her out of the bedroom?
Yes. And he also told me, don't come out the room.
Don't come out the room. Did you feel that did you draw into the conclusion as whether or not did you know where Mr. Smith took Miss Thomas?
No.
Do you know if he was removing her from the house?
I assume so because I heard the door close.
Okay, you heard the door close again.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Smith was fully dressed at this time, was he not, when he's taking her out? You have to say yes, or no.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you didn't see Mr. Smith shoot at the car, did you?
No.
You didn't see Mr. Smith shoot at Miss Thomas?
No.
Now, after the muzzle flashes that you see out the window, was there a car nearby those muzzle flashes, if you recall?
All I could see is through the window blinds, like lightning. So I don't know where the car was in proximity to anything because the blinds were closed.
Did you ever see Miss Thomas's car?
When I was leaving.
Okay, when you was leaving. Now, there came a time that Mr. Cade, Carlos Cade, came in encounter with you,
Yes.
and what did he do?
He and Virgil escorted me to my car.
When you say they escorted you to the car, why was it necessary for them to escort you to the car?
Objection, Your Honor. She would be speculating as to what was in their minds.
I don't think that calls for speculation as to
not?
their mind. She's simply saying what occurred.
She can say they escorted her to the car. Now, what's in their mind, why they say it's important to do so, she can't speculate to that. She can testify that they escorted her to her car. She did so. She can't say what's in their mind.
Did you think it was necessary for you to be escorted to the car? Did you think?
Yes.
Why?
Just based on everything that happened, I wasn't walking in my car by myself.
And why not? Were you afraid of Miss Thomas?
There was fear, yes.
She had attacked you, had she not?
She attempted to.
And the only reason she wasn't successful was through the efforts of Mr. Smith.
Correct.
But for Mr. Smith, what do you think would have happened?
I have no doubt in my mind she would have tried to fight me.
Now, when you were escorted to the car, did you notice Miss Thomas outside at all?
No.
Did you see Mr. Smith with a gun at all?
No.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
The level of fear that you had was not such to the extent that you called the police. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Truly, if you believed that you were in fear of death or great bodily harm, you certainly would have picked up the phone and called the police, correct?
I would think so, but the police never crossed my mind.
Okay. But you're an intelligent woman, correct?
Yes, correct.
I'm sure you have some advanced degrees.
Yes.
Okay.
Objection. That's speculation, Your Honor.
What?
That's what she
How
said.
is speculation? She can
That's
testify she has an
speculating.
advanced degree. She's speculating
The
about her own degree?
No, the speculation is about whether or not she would call the police. She's previously testified
No,
that her,
you can testify what you would do, counsel.
she didn't testify to that, Judge.
No, she can ask her.
And at no point in time did you pick up your cell phone that was right next to you to make a call, correct?
Objection. The telephone was not right next to it. It was plugged into the wall she testified to.
Was
That's
that
not an
you?
accurate statement of what
Well,
she said.
Certainly, counsel, all of these things have a point in time. There's testimony that she grabbed her stuff and she left. So, Ms. Lindsay, you have to clear up
Okay.
at what point in time.
At any point in time, was your cell phone within reaching distance?
Yes.
And at no point in time, when your cell phone was in reaching distance, when any of this was going on, did you pick up the phone to call for the safety of anybody?
Correct.
Now, in terms of what you said,
That was a question that, did you at any time, and you said correct.
okay,
So
Did-
that's
okay.
not a responsive answer.
okay. Did you at any point in time, when the cell phone was within your reach, call the police over concerns for safety of anybody in that house?
No.
Now, defense counsel asked you several questions about what you saw or what you didn't see during the assault, correct?
Yes.
Now, you indicated that you had your contacts out, correct?
Yes.
And when you gave your statement to the police, didn't you indicate that you could only see figures because you couldn't see?
I saw shadows and shapes.
You
Yes.
saw shadows and shapes.
Yes.
So in terms of him asking you, did you see specifically this or that? The room was dark, correct?
Yes.
Your contacts were out, correct?
Yes.
And you saw shadows and shapes.
Yes.
So in all accuracy, you cannot say what hands were doing at any given time. Is that correct?
Correct.
Nothing further?
But you have no doubt that Miss Thomas was attacking you.
No doubt.
You have no doubt that Mr. Smith was trying to restrain her.
Correct.
You have no doubt that Mr. Smith was removing her from the bedroom to prevent a further attack from you.
Yes.
You have no doubt that you heard running into the bedroom.
No doubt.
You have no doubt that when
At
the
this
door
juncture,
burst.
this exceeds the scope of my redirect. I was willing to let a few things go, but he's going all the way back into things that I did not ask. So, sees the scope of my redirect.
Counsel, I always let people go beyond the scope, but at some point, you're asking about what her doubts were without any type of anything that suggests that her doubts might not be fanciful. She's already indicated what she could not see. So her doubts and all of those things are based on a belief that's not been substantiated by what she could see.
Okay.
So,
Let me. Did you or did you not see Miss Thomas run into the bedroom?
Yes, I saw that.
Did you or did you not see Mr. Smith attempt to restrain her?
Yes.
Objection. At this point of time, under Michigan rules of evidence, this is all cumulative. All he's doing is having
No.
her repeat over and over what's already been
No.
It is all testimony that is on the record. There is nothing new that has been said or asked.
Well, Judge, I certainly, if Madam Prosecutor is suggesting that because she does not have her contacts on,
No,
that
she
somehow.
said that. I wrote it down.
I
She
understand
said,
that.
Hold on. She said, I wrote it down because I thought it was important. She said, I did not have my contacts on. I couldn't see anything.
Yeah,
She
and
said
so,
that.
and so therefore I am now coming back
You did
to
it
ask
already,
her.
though. You did it already. I
I'm
heard
do-
the answer the first time. It's not different now. She said it. You asked, did she see Mr. Smith restrain Miss Miss Thomas? She said it. So you're asking again.
No.
She said she saw it.
No.
Because I expressed that she had said something at one point that said she could not see anything, but she did say it, and you're asking again. It doesn't change it. I heard it the first time. I heard it. I heard her say she saw Mr. Smith restrain Miss Thomas. I heard her when she said he wrapped his arms around her and was pulling her away. I heard her when she said she saw them fall to the floor. I heard her when she said they were on the floor and he put his arms around her and he got her up. I heard it. Having her say it again doesn't make it any, if I hear it 3 times, doesn't make it 3 times as strong. I heard it. I heard it.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you need stuff down. Can this witness be excused?
Yes.
You're excused, ma'am.
People move to bind over as charged in the complaint warrant as
Ma'am, prosecutor, you're a little premature.
okay.
Do the defense have any witnesses? Or
Yes,
anything
yes,
else?
we do.
Okay.
Yes,
All
we
right.
do.
All right.
Can we take a little break to go out
First,
there?
before we do this, we gotta get some straight out. The witnesses that you are calling, are these just by witnesses?
Yes,
The people that were there?
yes.
Okay, well, can we have an offer of proof, because if all he wants, well, no, let him do it. I don't care.
If they were just by witnesses?
Yes.
We'll take 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Do we have anything that we can just quickly?
Where's the prosecutor? Which one?